Ravnotsky. You want me to say that again? Well, I'm sorry. I'm really, Shannon. Jeez, I'm trying my best over here. Can we get to the story? This is Tim Duncan's first season as a Spurs assistant coach, but last night he already got his first win as an acting head coach, with Greg Poppovich missing the game due to personal business. Duncan guided the Spurs to a 1-point win over the Hornets, and afterwards, the big fundamental admitted that the other assistants made most of the calls, and he was, quote, the one standing there screaming at people. So, Skip, this is your team. Are you surprised that Duncan became Pop's top assistant this fast?
I am shocked on two levels. First of all, Tim Duncan never struck me as someone who wanted to come back and pay the dues and pay the price that it takes to become a head coach in the National Basketball Association. He seemed very content with his life. He's got the two kids he loves. He loves to spend time with. They're 14 and 12 now. To go back on the road for 41 games, sitting on the bench as an assistant with not enough input, not enough to do.
Right.
I thought there's no way he would want to pay that kind of price.
Right.
He runs an auto body shop where they restore classic cars, which is his love and passion and hobby. And he seems to really be enjoying his off-court life.
Sure.
And yet, not only does he come back, but all of a sudden, I'm shocked, he's being fast-tracked to look like...
Take over for Pop.
Maybe take over for Pop next year. It's starting to feel like that. And the other level I'm shocked on and disappointed on and by is the Becky Hammon level.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan. I've watched her closely. She's coached summer league teams very successfully.
I think they won the title, didn't they? Win summer league title with her.
I like her.
And she's been offered jobs to coach women's college basketball, men's college basketball, but I just thought from the start, she's got what it takes to be the first female head coach in this league.
Right.
And she had earned her, so to speak, Spurs to rise into the #1 assistant's chair.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wait a second, you just passed her right by? And I thought Pop was her biggest champion.
Right.
Right. And so it just seemed like sort of public disrespect that when he got tossed earlier this year, right away, he pointed to Tim, you take over. I'm like, Becky should take over. At least let her get her feet a little bit wet. Let her have a shot here. And the one game on a back-to-back after they blew a game at home to Indiana and they're playing at Charlotte, that's a Becky game.
Right.
Just give it to Becky. It's okay. Just let her take one shot. It would help, solidify her, put her on the map.
Right.
If she had won that game last night, it would be a big
It would have done
story.
more. It would have been more for Becky than it did for Tim Duncan.
Absolutely.
Tim Duncan could get a job if Tim Duncan were to solicit and says, I want to be a head coach.
Right.
I don't really think he'll have a problem.
Okay.
His resume speaks for itself as a player, so he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. I think Becky Hammon has a tougher road. Obviously, Greg Popovich has put her in position, but she still has a tough road to follow. Skip, I agree with everything you said, because normally great coaches, great players don't want... Now, Bill Russell maybe is the exception, Skip, but he was playing and coaching. Once he got done, he wasn't out there coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Larry Bird is also... Larry had a great run.
He had a great run. But
he
that's,
was coaching,
that's the one. That's
but for the most part, Skip,
no.
Because great players, and when we say things come easy, it looks like it came easy, but they put a lot of work in. And then when they see players not able to do what they were able to do, they're like, why the hell you didn't do that? Because your name isn't Magic Johnson, and you're not Larry Bird.
Yep.
So that's why they couldn't do it.
Jerry West tried to coach, and it didn't work.
No. Skip, when you look at Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan, you can, there are certain positions that you really can't debate. I mean, when you get to centers, you debate, is it Will, is it Russell, is it Chamberlain, Kareem, excuse me. You get the shooting guard, it's Michael. When you come to power forwards, it's Timmy Duncan, and it's not even close. And there have been some great power forwards, Skip, but it ain't that guy. And that's it. And for him to say, you know what, I want to, like you said, I want in the big boy chair. And I think Pop's going to catch a lot of criticism, some of it warranted, Skip, because the thing is that, well, I thought Beckham was #1 #2 in command if something happened to you. But, Skip, this is not the presidency where the vice presidency automatically ascends if the president is incapacitated.
Apparently not.
This is coaching. Okay. And if I point to you and say, you take it over, you take it over.
Yeah. So now I'm suspecting maybe that Pop has told Tim, you're my successor.
Right.
And I need to fast track you. So every little chance I get, I need you to sit in the big boy chair this year, because it's highly possible he's going to walk into the sunset next year.
I mean, I'm looking at Tim like, Tim Duncan actually, well, if we can call that coaching, but it doesn't even look, I mean, when I heard that Skip, he was coming back to be on the bench, I'm like,
That was surprising.
to do what? I can understand, like, sometimes guys come back and they work with the younger guys and the post-up players and things of that nature if you're a big guy. But, like, he going to be actually in meetings. He's going to be traveling and sitting on the bench and doing it. Huh?
Yeah. And he looks so uncomfortable on the bench because he's 7 feet tall, 6'11", probably. But he's scrunched up in one of those little seats next to Pop, you know, and it's just kind of stuck there. And yet I have no idea how good he would be as a head coach, because history would tell you it would be hard.
Well, it's going to be hard for him to be a better head coach than he was a player.
That's a fact.
So that's what, but Skip, when you look at it, Pop owed everything to Tim Duncan. Pop was slightly above 500
Totally agree.
before Tim Duncan arrived, and now he's basically his 700 coach.
That's his Tom Brady.
Yes.
There's a little bit of that.
I think
remember,
so.
Pop used to just publicly vow, as soon as he walks out the door, I'm walking right behind him.
He did.
So maybe it's almost like a reversal of that concept where, okay, as soon as he walks back in the door, I'm leaving. Right?
And he was probably one of the last, Skip, that played 4 years. He stayed 4 years of college. Normally, when you're that good a talent, you ain't staying no 4 years. But he stayed 4, and boy, I mean, rookie of the year, he was a league MVP, a finals MVP.
You know, I'll give him this. He was one of the greatest quiet leaders. Nobody really got it, but that team always followed him. And he did play absolutely the right way every single dribble. He was the big fundamental.
And the thing about it, Skip, he had to battle Shaq.
Yeah.
So he had to go get you 25, but you got to try to keep Shaq from getting 30 and 15.
Well, I got to tell you, he unsuccessful battled Shaq.
Man, look,
I saw him get ragdolled.
But Skip, ain't nobody do anything with Shaq.
Nobody could. For those 3 years, it was both Tim and David Robinson, and they neither had
He just
a chance.
slinging everybody off him.
Just knocked them off.
Yeah. So ain't no shame to say, well, hey, we didn't do anything. There's no shame, because nobody did anything with Shaq. From the time Shaq got into the league until all of a sudden he started getting a little heavier, started having knee and feet problems. Nobody can do anything with that. Shaq was 300 pounds and was agile.
I agree. So there's one other assistant sitting on that row right there named Will Hardy that nobody knows, but he's the Budenholzer. He's the one that they all say he's going to be the next star head coach. So he's waiting in the wings, and probably today he's not all that happy. Between him and Becky, they're probably both saying, and they're very close, like, what just happened?
I didn't realize she's been with them for 6 seasons as well. So, I mean, it's not like
that's paying dues.
Well, Tim Duncan said, I was with him for 20.
Happy for Tim if this is really what he wants, but also kind of want Becky to get the opportunity.